Hi, this is Darren Talbot, aka Mr. Tahoe.
And Paul Hamilton, flight instructor.
We're going to take you above and around Tahoe.
So come fly with us.
Let's go!
As we get ready to come into Emerald Bay is widely considered the second most photographed single scene in the United States, behind Niagara Falls. I always find that statistic a little bit disingenuous, since the picture of Niagara Falls that the people are taking from the American side is a picture of Canada, Horseshoe Falls. A spectacular view of the most beautiful bay on a lake in the world, Emerald Bay. Emerald Bay is called Emerald Bay because of the color of the water. It's about 1.5 miles long and 1/2 mile wide. This bay was created by a massive glacier. Lake Tahoe was created by 3 massive glaciers. Emerald Bay is one of them. One of the interesting parts about Emerald Bay is, how was the island created? Why is it there? 2 theories. One is that it was a piece of rock so hard that the giant glacier simply was unable to move it out of its way. The other theory is that it was a piece of the mountainside way up high, broken off, and carried down by the glacier slowly over hundreds of years, and then deposited right where it is now. Either way, God was having a particularly good day when he made Emerald Bay. At the back of the bay is Vikingsholm Castle, and at the top of the island is the tea house, built in conjunction with the castle, 1928-1929. It was built by Laura Knight, who was a widow from a major commodities tycoon in San Francisco. She felt the bay looked so much like a Norwegian fjord that she decided to build her castle in true Scandinavian architecture. This amazing roadway you see here is probably one of the most spectacular drives you could possibly take. You're actually driving on top of what is called the spine, or a moraine. A moraine is a debris mountain created by 2 giant glaciers, Cascade Lake to the left, Emerald Bay to the right. When the glaciers created Emerald Bay, they had to leave their debris somewhere, so it created this debris field, or a moraine. Straight ahead, you can see the slide in the hillside. That was on Christmas Day, 1955. They tried to make the road bigger and wider over the years, but Mother Nature had other plans, destroying the road. You can see the unbelievable depth, even in Emerald Bay. 300 feet deep in the center of the bay. Nothing shallow about Lake Tahoe. Now, Laura Knight might have built her beautiful castle, but the first man ever to live here would become legend. He came here in 1863. His name was Captain Dick Barter. He would actually live in Emerald Bay for 10 years. He never left the bay, except, of course, for one thing, and that was a bottle of whiskey. He would row in his boat 17 miles to Tahoe City. He'd hit the Tahoe house, get fully drunk, fill his boat with bottles of whiskey, and begin to row 17 miles back to Emerald Bay. On one of his journeys, he fell out of his boat and nearly drowned. And if it weren't for that whiskey, he would have probably certainly died. But it kept him warm enough, just long enough till he got back to his cabin, where he remained unconscious for several days. When he awoke, he realized he had a bigger problem, as all of his toes were completely frostbitten and unsalvageable. With there being no doctor in Emerald Bay, the good captain did the unthinkable. He amputated all of his toes with a carving knife. Now, most people would think the story ends there, but the captain was proud of his toes. He kept them in a box. And when people came to the island, he would tell his stories of how he dodged death. And he'd take the box out, you know, and he'd shake the box, and he'd say, "Them's my toes."